Hi, I'm Justin Keay, Field Specialist in Horticulture with MU Extension. I'm here today to talk to you about high tunnel soil problems of excess salts. You can see in the high tunnel picture on the left those white strips showing salts accumulated at the soil surface. The picture on the right shows some stressed out pepper plants that are suffering from excess soluble salts in the root zone. When we add high amounts of fertilizer and manure or compost to high tunnels, as well as excluding rainfall, we tend to see an increase of soluble salt levels in these soils over time. Many high tunnel growers may notice a yield drag over a number of years in the high tunnel. This can be a result of pathogen buildup in the soil, but it can also be a result of excess soluble salts that can reduce water uptake by plants. This is known as chemical drought. You can be applying adequate amounts of irrigation to your plants, but your plants are unable to uptake the water due to the high levels of salts in the root zone. This can reduce the yield of salt-sensitive crops. In field production of vegetables in Missouri, this is generally not an issue. We have high amounts of precipitation that are capable of leaching these excess salts away from the root zone and into deeper profiles of the soil. However, in high tunnels, rainfall is excluded, and crops are often over-fertilized with both synthetic and organic fertilizers, as well as high applications of manure and compost. Fertigation is often used as well, and this causes fertilizer salts to accumulate near the soil surface. It's important to note when we talk about excess salts, we're not talking just about sodium, but we're talking about fertilizer salts such as nitrate, calcium, and magnesium. When drip irrigation is used in high tunnels, not enough water is added to leach these salts downward out of the root zone. Soils with these excess soluble salts are classified on a scale from slightly to strongly saline. And in a survey of high tunnel growers in Pennsylvania, it was shown that on average, their soils were either strongly or moderately saline. These soluble salt levels found in Pennsylvania were capable of reducing yields in our common high tunnel crops, such as tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers. The potential yield loss of vegetables depends both on the crop being planted as well as the salinity level of the soil. For instance, beets are extremely tolerant of high levels of salts. However, you can see that tomatoes, for instance, can suffer a yield loss of up to 50% at a soluble salt level of 7.6. We tend to see these salts accumulate highest in the top few inches of the soil. It's easy to test for soluble salts, though. These are measured as electrical conductivity and reported in millimoles per centimeter. Just collect 12 samples from your high tunnel from 0 to 6 inches deep and mix them thoroughly together. If you're growing on fixed beds, sample only from the beds and not from the walkways. Take 2 cups of soil to your extension office or send directly to our laboratory on campus. Make sure to request an EC or electrical conductivity test, which has a fee of $6. If you find through soil testing that you have high soluble salt levels in the soil, there are some solutions to this problem. You can remove the plastic from your high tunnels over the winter, allow that fall and winter precipitation to wash those salts out of the root zone into deeper profiles of the soil. You can also do this with irrigation. The general rule of thumb is to apply 6 inches of water to leach 50% of salts from the root zone, 12 inches to leach 80%, and 24 inches to leach 90%. Also, make sure to soil test annually and follow the nutrient recommendations that are given that are based on the soil nutrient values in your soil. Continue to monitor salinity through EC testing. If you'd like to learn more about this topic, here are some resources that you might find helpful. We'll include links to these in the YouTube video description. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly.